Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live, and joining me live is Lindsay Flacks, who is the Senior Project Manager with Providence Institute for Human Caring. The Institute is offering a new initiative called Hear Me Now. How are you today, Lindsay?
I'm doing well, Hiva. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute privilege.
Yeah, thank you for coming on my show. And before we talk about this initiative, can you tell our viewers what the Institute for Human Caring is all about?
Absolutely. So the Providence Institute for Human Caring is really an engine of culture change. We're trying to make this idea of whole person care the new normal. And that means attending to patients, not just their physical ailments, but also their emotional, their social, and spiritual needs. We really believe that healthcare is very personal, and we're trying to rehumanize care through our work, and that includes Hear Me Now.
And there's one institute in the Southern California region here in Torrance. Tell me about that and how did it get started?
That's correct. So the Providence Institute for Human Caring actually spans across the entire Providence St. Joseph health system, but we are located here in Torrance, and we were founded by Dr. Ira Byock, who is a national leader in palliative care. He's actually here in Torrance because this is where his grandkids are, which is why we are based in this beautiful sunny Southern California area. But with him and also the leadership of our executive director, Jennifer Kowzikowski, they've really built Dr. Byock's vision into a reality. We've grown from what was 2 to 3 members in 2014 to over a dozen members now on our team. And we're just continuing to grow and expand our work, which is really exciting.
And this vision is all about whole person care. So tell me more about that when we talk about this in a medical setting.
Absolutely. So oftentimes, it's so easy for patients to become statistics or just another individual in the queue. Doctors are so, sparse on time. And what we're really trying to implement is to make sure that every individual that comes into our Providence settings feels like they're being understood and heard, and that our healthcare is, again, attending not just to their physical needs, but also their priorities and preferences in life. And that goes beyond just the physical ailments. And just because 2 individuals come in with the same illness or disease does not mean that they want or desire the same type of care.
Okay, and this is kind of how this initiative called Hear Me Now got started, and it's in a partnership with StoryCorps. So tell our viewers about that, and what is the mission with having this type of program?
So we are so fortunate. This is really a one-of-a-kind program. StoryCorps and the Providence Institute for Human Caring have taken storytelling to a whole new level, on a whole new scale. And it's really about bringing this idea of storytelling and listening into the culture of our healthcare. And we do think it's a crucial component of whole person care. It's making sure that patients, caregivers, community members are feeling like their voices are heard, that they matter. And these stories are not only inspiring hope and re-engaging our patients and caregivers, but it's also really helping our culture of care become just more at home. And it's beautiful. The emotions are coming out now. I love it. I love being able to manage this, and to hear the stories that people have to share are really incredible. And I truly believe that everyone has a story to share.
How did it start?
So our founder, Dr. Ira Byock, happens to be great friends with the CEO of StoryCorps, Dave Isay, and they realized that at the core of their work was this common mission of really making storytelling and listening and bringing it back into the culture, not just of healthcare, but across the nation. But particularly in healthcare, where we're trying to instill whole person care, it just seemed like a natural fit. And so between the 2 of them, we were able to put our teams together and have built this program, which has been incredibly successful. We've been going for just about 6 months and already have over 100 recordings. So it's spreading like wildfire, and it's very exciting to watch.
For some viewers at home, they're like, okay, maybe it's like this conversation I can have maybe with my mother or my brother, but it's much more than that, and it's kind of like a step-by-step experience. So let's take our viewers into what they can experience if this is something they're interested in and how it works.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, in today's world, uninterrupted conversation is a rarity.
Yes.
And so what we're providing to individuals is an opportunity to sit down in a quiet, intimate space and have 40 minutes of uninterrupted conversation with someone that they know and care about. And they can talk about anything that's meaningful to them. So it might be about illness, it might be about childhood or a great memory, birth, death. The topics really are limitless. And there's no formalized structure. You know, we say it's a recording or interview, but sometimes the semantics can get confusing. We really just want this to be comfortable, which is why we do have pairs come in, and we ask that the pairs know each other well, because we want there to be this intimate comfort level. Now, there are some formalities just in terms of the paperwork and the preparation that's involved. We ask that participants come in knowing what kind of topics they want to talk about, which allows for a smooth, fluid discussion. And then, depending on their comfort level in terms of how widely they want to share their story, either they'll sign release forms that allow Providence and StoryCorps to use their stories for various reasons, or if they want to keep it private, they don't have to share it with anyone. And that's why we really promote this project as a gift to the participants. We really just want them to enjoy it and to be able to have a meaningful conversation for themselves, their loved ones, and for future generations.
Do doctors or caregivers overlook the conversation? How does that work? I know you mentioned pairs as far as parties involved.
Right, so it depends on the participants. This is open to everyone. Providence caregivers, and I use caregiver to encompass providers, nurses, social workers, any member of the team that is working for Providence, we consider a caregiver. It could also be patients or community members. So for instance, we have had patients talk with a caregiver that they've gotten very close with, and they'll have a conversation about the dynamic of their relationship and perhaps the experience that that patient or caregiver are going through. Similarly, we may have family members who talk to one another about, you know, their time either at the hospital or, for instance, we just had a patient that came in who was a former NICU patient at Providence Little Company of Mary Torrance. She was born at 1 pound, 15 ounces.
Wow.
She is now a 37-year-old thriving woman with 2 children. I don't think there was a dry eye that came out of that room. And so it can be celebratory events. And again, it's open to anyone. So there's no limitations or restrictions.
What are the results you've been seeing? What's the significance of storytelling, you would say?
So one of the best parts for me is watching some of the caregivers who have been able to participate and watching their engagement. And this storytelling is often a reminder for them of why they went into healthcare in the first place. And you just see this light and spark in their eye and also in their demeanor when they walk out of the room. And I think sometimes we forget how deep and meaningful conversations can be because, again, we don't have this opportunity to sit down for 40 minutes interrupted. And to be able to share moments with someone that you know well and care about can be both inspiring, cathartic, and just an opportunity to reminisce. It's really beautiful. And similar for our patients. I think I've gotten to see the positivity and the attitudes and the rehumanizing of healthcare. It reminds us of that human element, which is really nice to see, especially amidst, you know, everything that's going on in healthcare.
And especially with the healing process, I'm sure that can help as well.
Absolutely. You see, you know, support groups and people talking about things and talking through their illness. It really does help. And Hear Me Now is just a forum for that. It's a great platform that we've set up that's an opportunity for anyone that wants to join.
Who can join? How can they take part? Where do they get more information? Tell me more.
Absolutely. So everyone can join, you know, anyone in the community, all Providence affiliates, patients, family members, caregivers. We want everyone to share their story. I truly believe everybody has a story. So they can reach out to me. My email is my first name, lindsay.flacks@providence.org, or they can call my office line, which is 310-543-7263. And I encourage anyone who just wants to learn more information or even get to see some of our current edited clips to visit our website, which is providence.org/hearmenow. And I promise you will not be disappointed.
And before we go, tell us a little bit about the research and the clinical benefits. I know you mentioned it, but there's actual research that has backed up this form of communication?
There is. There have been a plethora of stories that have shown the therapeutic benefits of storytelling, not only to re-engage participants, whether that's caregivers or patients, but also just reinvigorating hope and inspiring others. One of the biggest reasons I've seen people want to participate in this is to help others that are going through the similar thing. It's very easy for us to feel alone in our own circumstances, but often there's someone there right beside us that's going through the same thing. So stories can go a long way.
Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for coming on my show. And it's true, everyone does have a story to tell. So.
Thank you so much.
And again, if you are interested in this program, want more information, you can contact Lindsay at lindsay.flacks@providence.org. You can also give her a call, 310-543-7263. You can also head to providence.org/Institute for Human Caring for much more information. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. And don't forget to tune into the Torrance City Council meeting that will start very soon. For Facebook and Twitter users, use #NewsBreakLive. Have a great night.